Tensions rise in the East Bay after reports of ICE activity. How residents are pushing back? Up next.
A fire breaks out in one of San Jose's most historic parks. How the community and first responders reacted. Next.
A new California proposition could reshape the political map. Why voters are split on Prop 50? Up next.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Alex Diaz.
And I'm A. Brettel. An East Bay city was up in arms after the supposed deployment of ICE agents to the Bay Area. Our reporter, Sophie Cipriano, was there as the story unfolded.
I'm here at Coast Guard Island, where protesters have arrived on the scene to fight back against ICE activity in their cities.
This past week, President Donald Trump announced plans to dispatch custom border patrol agents to San Francisco and the broader Bay Area. Protesters like Jennifer Quinn are terrified about the effect that ICE will have on her community.
When I heard that ICE was going to be right here, it horrified me. I love this community so much, and the idea of it being dismantled by ICE is horrifying.
Protests began in the early morning and intensified throughout the day when hundreds of protesters from Fruitvale marched to Coast Guard Island.
We immediately called an action with a coalition to show Trump, to show ICE that Oakland is not going to just accept this without a fight.
Although Trump announced on his Truth Socials that after a conversation with his mogul friends and San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie, he would be calling off the National Guard and ICE agents. Many were still upset.
And it made me really upset and really sad to see that ICE is pretty clearly being put here because it's a Latino community and because they're going to try and target them.
Although Lurie made the announcement for San Francisco, the status of ICE raids for the broader Bay Area was not confirmed. In Coast Guard Island, Sophie Cipriano, Update News.
Protesters say although border control agents were called off, it is clear this is an attack on California, and they will protect their cities.
Federal immigration officers may be striking fear in East and South Bay as they prepare for large-scale operations. Our reporter Matt Meyer is live with more.
San Jose city officials proposed a new policy in an effort to reduce the effectiveness of ICE operations in the city. Some activists and organizers are skeptical that policy is enough to protect their communities. Take a look.
The alleged proposed policy would ban ICE agents from using city properties as staging grounds for operations in the San Jose community. Some community organizers agree with the policy outline, but fear that ICE could take advantage of other resources not owned by the city.
I mean, that suggestion is interesting, but ICE will find a way how to use like some federal buildings or any other like that.
The city is also working with local organizations to prepare the community. Rebecca Amendares, a founding member of a local nonprofit affiliated with Rapid Response, says,
creating and developing in partnership with the impacted community and with elected leaders so that whatever we do create is sustainable, whatever we do create is relevant and enforceable, right?
District 8's council member is one of 3 council members credited with introducing the policy.
I firmly believe that we build a stronger San Jose by standing with our immigrant community with policies that ensure that the city property is used for city uses and for when residents trust law enforcement.
Organizers like Tatiana Villaseñor Carrillo say,
living under scary times, nothing that our communities have not faced in the past, which is even more sad. We're basically reactivating underground railroads and trying to make sure that our messaging is getting to the right people.
The city properties policy has yet to be officialized, but the city council is hoping to get it voted on and implemented before any escalation of immigration activities can begin. Live in San Jose, Matt Meyer, Update News.
In the eastern foothills of San Jose, a fire broke out last Thursday. Our reporter, Dominic Herrera, has more from the community and first responders.
This past Thursday, crews responded to reports of a fire that had broken out here at Alum Rock Park. It is a park with a lot of fire history, but it's a place I go a lot, and anytime there's a fire that erupts out of nowhere in that park, it's it's very unsettling.
Alum Rock Park is one of the oldest in California, with its 720 acres containing.
We had a vehicle that we could attack the fire at the time that I arrived on scene. The fire was probably about 100 feet and growing probably anywhere between 8 to 10 feet in height.
SJFD reported on X that the fire had burned to about the size of 3 football fields at its peak, but progress had been contained after burning 10 acres by 6 p.m. Alum Rock Park is one of the oldest in California, with its 720 acres containing a diverse population of wildlife and is a staple of the San Jose community.
This place is, I'm sure to the community, it means a lot because people come here, they walk out here or they ride their bikes, and it's a beautiful place. We definitely have to reserve this spot and we need to keep it.
With the fall season fast approaching, fire season is winding down, but the dry and windy conditions still make fires a lingering threat.
There's a lot of work that we do before getting into fire season, working with our maintenance team as well as other agencies. So we were able to, I'd say, help prevent and contain the fire pretty quickly.
Reporting from Alum Rock and San Jose, Dominic J. Herrera, Update News.
No cause of the fire has been identified yet. Alum Rock Park will remain closed to the public until this Saturday for cleanup efforts and community safety.
A new proposition on the upcoming California statewide special election ballot is sparking debates. Our reporter Abigail Rodriguez has more on the topic.
Controversial proposition Prop 50 has many across California divided on the issue. Prop 50 is set to authorize temporary changes to congressional district maps. Aimed at creating new seats in Congress for California Democrats, the proposition is in response to partisan redistricting in Texas, which has created 5 new Republican seats in Congress for Texas. Those in favor of Prop 50 believe that it is necessary in counteracting the partisan redistricting efforts of other states. Those against Prop 50 argue that it will dismantle safeguards and requirements that keep elections fair. Randy Bethel, a member of Indivisible Mid-Peninsula, a community-based grassroots initiative, supports Prop 50 and believes it is necessary in combating the efforts of Texas.
We're saying, voters, are you okay with us redistricting so that we can combat the 5 seats that Texas has given to Trump?
Suzanne Nguyen, a member of the Santa Clara County Republican Party, believes it will take away the representation of some Californians.
Diluting the voices of Californians who also deserve fair representation and voices at the congressional level.
Now that ballots are coming in, the voter turnout is looking promising compared to past statewide special elections.
Right now, based off of the ballots that we've received so far, we think we're going to have about a 60% voter turnout for this election, which is on the higher end of what we've seen in past statewide special elections.
With the statewide special election nearing, to learn more about your voting resources, visit vote.santaclaracounty.gov. As the November 4th statewide special election gets closer, the battle between both sides intensifies. How will you vote this November? Reporting in San Jose, Abigail Rodriguez, Update News.
When we come back, California classrooms could be sounding a little different soon. How a new law is changing the way kids learn to read. Coming up.
Stay tuned, because a new report finds some popular protein powders may contain more than just protein. What researchers discovered.
Will all the sun stay for Halloween? Stay tuned for the forecast.
At SJSU, every sunrise sparks your purpose. Purpose, ignited in the classroom, on the field, through Silicon Valley internships, academics, teamwork, and research. And our community of care means that every Spartan is valued and supported. So tell me, are you Spartan ready?
Recently, the USDA released a memo on their official government website that upset some communities. I went out to find out more.
The USDA announced that the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, better known as SNAP, will be suspended until further notice earlier this week. Co-owner Deanna Valors of Tony and Alba's Pizza and Pasta is just one of many Bay Area parents who empathize for children dependent on SNAP.
a lot of these parents that are coming in with their kids, it's hard for them, but they're doing it because they know their kids need a meal. So you're doing what you have to feed your kids.
The USDA message claims that Senate Democrats are to blame, insisting that their policies regarding gender-affirming surgery and illegal immigration are the reason why SNAP benefits are being suspended. Some advocacy groups say that the USDA's wording promotes harmful rhetoric.
It's very obvious and clear wording. It's deliberate. The term mutilation it's violent, it's graphic, and it's meant to provoke a reaction.
The USDA also stated that the well has run dry. During previous government shutdowns, SNAP benefits were still issued. This will be the first time in SNAP's 60-year history that benefits will not. Some business owners, such as Valors, are offering free and discounted meals, citing the well-being of children affected by the suspension of SNAP.
We wanted to do something for the children because the children shouldn't have to suffer because of everything that's happening with the adults.
With government services unavailable, many are turning to their own communities to make ends meet.
The USDA's message regarding the government shutdown alarms citizens about the language used and about children's welfare as we enter the 30th day of the shutdown.
California is making major changes in reading curriculums by implementing a new law for elementary and middle schools. Our reporter, Tanya Ortega, has more information.
California hopes sounding out words makes a comeback in classrooms. The new Bill 1454 encourages elementary and middle schools to use the science of reading and phonic-based books to help young readers develop the basics faster.
When you hear the sound A. The science of reading is more with the phonics base, to where you're all kind of doing it together in this small group and manipulating and using magnet letters to spell the words out and put them together.
Phonics are connecting the letters and sounds of words in which students learn how to sound them out instead of memorizing them. Clifford Elementary School implemented the use of phonics 3 years ago, and many families hopes the system will benefit their children in the long run.
I'm hoping that this is not a swing, but it's maintaining that balance center, that kids need that foundational phonics, but they also need lots and lots and lots of reading practice.
Of 300 California school districts surveyed in 2022, only 20% used phonics, according to CalMatters. Smith states a strict instruction of phonics has impacted kindergarten classes before going to her first grade class.
Her kids coming up to me, I see stronger and able to recognize letters and sounds more, being able to connect the words together than past groups. So it does make a huge difference.
If the data shows improvement, phonic-based books and the science of reading could soon become a requirement in California. Whether optional or not, teachers say phonics is the foundation for learning to read one step at a time. Reporting in Robert City, Tanya Ortega, Update News.
Consumers of protein powder should be aware of the new report published, finding that many brands tested positive for lead. Our reporter, Dominic Herrera, has more.
Protein powder is one of the most popular dietary supplements used and bought by people looking to build muscle. But there may be cause for concern. A new report published by Consumer Reports last Tuesday showed that 23 popular brands of protein powders contain amounts of lead.
I didn't really consider the lead and stuff like that, so it's definitely something that is a bit concerning now that I have to figure out which ones are actually affecting me.
Protein powder is classified as food by the Federal Food and Drug Administration. This has led to manufacturing companies having little oversight in making claims about their products or choosing not to publish tests on the contents. SJSU nutrition professor Tony Bloom advocates for legislation to regulate supplements to prevent repeat incidents, but says that health activists will be better off spending their time and money educating consumers. While the study did not find lead in all protein supplements, the report does serve as a call to action for many consumers.
So you take protein powder to take care of yourself and build muscle, but it's if you're putting lead in your body, it's not really worth it at that point.
Reporting for Update News, Dominic J. Herrera.
The weather's been so unpredictable lately.
It sure has been. Let's head over to weather with Sophie Ciprano.
Thanks, Abe and Alex. So let's get into some of the weather headlines this week.
So some of the weather headlines this week, great weather in store for Halloween tomorrow. Daylight savings time is going to be ending this weekend, and we're not going to get chances of rain until later next week. Let's move on to some of the daytime highs. Over here in the coast, looks like we're going to be in about the 60s, and then we're going to get up into the 70s in the bay and the inland. And looks like it's going to be pretty good weather overall, but don't forget to bring a jacket. And let's get into the Update News Halloween forecast for this week. And over here for the coast, looks like we're going to be in about the 50s and 60s, so it's going to be a little chilly. If you're planning on going out with some friends, make sure to stay warm. And over here in the bay and the inlands, looks like we're going to get a little bit higher temperature, but still in the 60s, so still not too warm. And as we get through to the night, it's going to start to get a little bit colder, okay? And as for daylight savings, Saturday is going to be the last day of daylight savings, and then Sunday we get a nice treat with another extra hour of sleep. I don't know about you guys, but I sure could catch up on some sleep. And as we get into the rain for next week, looks like we're not going to be getting any rain until about Wednesday. So it's going to be pretty dry, but make sure you get your umbrella before Wednesday. And let's get into the Spartan weather outlook for Santa Cruz. So for Santa Cruz, looks like we're going to be in about the 70s and then we're going to get down to the 60s later next week. As for Oakland, about the same. We're going to be in the 70s this weekend, moving down to the 60s. So it's going to be a little bit warmer this weekend and just to get a little bit colder next week. And for San Francisco, looks like a similar story. 60s this weekend, and then we're going to get down to the 70s on Monday, and then down to the 60s next week. And as for San Jose State, looks like we're going to be a little bit luckier in that we're going to get a little bit nicer weather this weekend. We're going to be in about the 70s, and we're going to get up to 80 on Monday, and then go down to 60 next week. So next week looks like it's going to be pretty cold overall in the Bay. And that's all I have for you. Thank you for joining me for the weekly weather forecast. Now back to the desk.
When we come back,
students at San Jose State are finding rhythm, community, and confidence, all on the dance floor, coming up.
From the pool to the field, stay tuned to find out what the Spartans are cooking up in this week's Spartan Sports Central.
The next generation of changemakers and innovators can be found right here at San Jose State University. Because here, in the heart of Silicon Valley, every student has the opportunity to achieve and discover. The opportunity to go beyond what they dreamed was possible. And the opportunity to take their hopes and aspirations to the next level. It's about breaking down barriers and aiming higher. It's about bringing students closer to finding successful careers. And it's about giving students the hands-on experiences that will shape and inform the rest of their lives. San Jose State is the place that cultivates collaboration. It's the place where future leaders belong.
From waltz to salsa, students at San Jose State are stepping into a space where culture and connection come together. I visited the SJSU Danceport Club to see how they're reinventing dance.
Inside the aerobic center, music fills the room 3 nights a week, as members of SJSU Danceport practice dances ranging from ballroom to Latin. President Jamie Ho has been dancing for 13 years and found her belonging at SJSU Danceport.
I never really had, a place to belong when it came to school or my social life. And so coming into college and finding out that there was finally a club for me, it's amazing.
The team teaches 10 different styles, 5 Latin dances like cha-cha, rumba, paso doble, samba, and jive, and 5 ballroom styles including waltz, foxtrot, tango, quick step, and Vietnamese waltz. But beyond competition, the goal is simple: to have fun and build community.
We're here to help, and we are not going to turn away anybody regardless of their skill level or experience.
The club welcomes dancers of all levels, no experience required. Coaches Ashley Campos and Ikaika Dowsett guide students through technique and teamwork, preparing them for competitions against universities like Stanford, Berkeley, Cal Poly, and more.
I think the collaboration and teamwork, like it's not like none of us are competing against each other. It's all like we're all working together and everyone's so friendly.
For these students, dance is more than the style. It's about finding a place to belong and express yourself through movement.
I hope that members are able to find themselves here and, find their passion here, just like how I found my passion dancing.
The SJSU Danceport team meets Tuesdays through Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m., showing that sometimes the best way to find your community is one step or a dance at a time. Hey, Abe, do you know what's happening in sports this week?
I actually don't, but you know who does? Let's go to Spartan Sports Central with Mohammed Najimi.
Welcome to Spartan Sports Central. I'm your host, Mohammed Najimi. Let's see what the Spartans have been up to this week and what's coming up. First sport up, men's water polo. They have a 9-6 record for the season so far. They played 3 games this past weekend, including 2 against 2 top 10 opponents in Pepperdine and Fordham. In the clip that I'm about to show, you can see Samu Birosh get a pass from Mateo Bosic and look straight in the middle to Sam Keatley, who's in the middle. You can see 4 Pepperdine opponents surround Sam, but Sam can get the shot off and bury it to give SJSU a 6-5 lead in the third quarter. They would go on to beat Pepperdine 17-14 in overtime. It's rare you get overtime in water polo, so you know this was an intense matchup. They had a game on Saturday, day after this match, against Pomona Pitzer and won 14-9 regulation, and another match on Sunday against Fordham, which they lost 10-9 in regulation. They have 3 games left in the season, all away games. First one against Air Force on this Sunday at 11, and then 2 next weekend. First against Cal Baptist, second against UC Irvine on Saturday and Sunday. Next sport, men's football. They have a 2-game losing streak currently. With losses against Wyoming and Utah State. As you can see a 66-yard running touchdown by Steve Chavez Soto, who has stepped up really well after they had two of their starting running backs go for different reasons. They have an upcoming match against Hawaii on Saturday at 7:30. It's a huge matchup. They want to be eligible for the bowl, and to be eligible, you need a 500 or better record. And if they lose, they're going to be on the brink. Now, it is the Spartan Showcase, the one match you don't want to miss. I'm going to go on the opposite gender of the last week's Spartan Showcase with Alex, and it'll be San Jose State's women's basketball. They had a matchup against the Jessup Warriors yesterday in an exhibition match at 7. This just in, the Spartans beat the Jessup Warriors 91-84 in that exhibition game Wednesday night. They start this season against BYU on Saturday, November 8th at 1 p.m. They have a new head coach now that was hired in April 2025. His name is Jonas Chatterton. He looks to improve on their 10-22 record last season and their 3-15 conference record. They have 6 new returning players and 7 new looking to make an impact. I'm going to repeat what Alex said last week. Basketball season is officially back in San Jose. And that has been your Spartan Sports Central. I'm Mohammed Najimi. Back to the desk.
Alex, you know what I need to do after this?
What do you need to do?
I need to get so many groceries.
And it's so expensive. Let's see what the Spartans how much they're spending on groceries this week in the state of the Spartans.
Anywhere from like 100 to 200. It depends if I'm feeling like treating myself. But it's mostly just consistent of some kind of protein, whether that's like steak, ground beef, chicken.
100 to 180 at least. I usually get like ground beef, bananas, eggs, yogurt. There's different snacks.
I eat out a lot, but probably like between like 40 and 50 bucks. And it's usually ground beef and tortillas to make like beef tacos.
Say about $300-400 a week. It's a lot, I'm not gonna lie.
$50 on groceries. I buy a lot of like unhealthy stuff, but sometimes I buy like organic stuff, so it kind of raises the price.
$500 for Costco stuff. We buy groceries like ribeye steaks and Martinelli drinks. I drink a lot of Celsius.
And that does it for this week's edition of the Update News.
From all of us here, thank you for joining us. Follow us on all our socials, and we'll see you next week.